Okay. Welcome, everybody. My name is Brian Hilton. I'm a product marketing manager here at Cantaloupe, and we're really happy to have you with us here today on our webinar on 3 minor tweaks that bring major benefits when it comes to payments. We're hoping that today what we cover arms you with information as you seek to improve operational efficiencies, ultimately saving time and hassle for your business, but also increasing your revenue and growing your business. We are joined, as you probably see on the screen here, by two of our own experts in the area of payments. We have Keshav and Carolyn. Keshav manages our payment products here at Cantaloupe, and he knows our credit card readers and our telemeters inside and out. He's our internal subject matter expert when it comes to firmware within our devices, and he's been with Cantaloupe for almost 4 years. And Carolyn is our senior small business solutions manager, and many of you might actually know her as your personal rep. Carolyn understands the challenges that operators face on a day in and day out basis. And she finds joy in helping operators take your business to the next level. And Carolyn actually spent 16 years prior to her joining Cantaloupe as an accountant. So she has a background of helping operators and helping businesses become financially successful. So Keshav, Carolyn, thanks for being here today. Really excited to dive in to some solutions that can help out our customers. So what exactly are those solutions? What exactly will we be talking about today? The 3 minor things that bring major benefits are as seen here on our agenda. First, Keshav will explain our new exact authorization mode and how it works to reduce consumer confusion and keep your phones free of angry calls. Next, Carolyn will explain our Cash Flow Advantage program and how you not only can receive your funds quicker with daily deposits, but you can actually increase your revenue in the process. Carolyn then will also take us through Cantaloupe Care and how you can extend warranty coverage on your new devices for longer. And then lastly, we'll conclude with a question and answer session. And I'd encourage you, as you have questions pop up throughout the webinar, feel free to click on that Q&A button there at the bottom, type in your question, and at the end of the presentation, we'll do our best to answer all the different questions you might have for us. We will be sending out a recording of this webinar once you've attended. So look for an email from us in the next couple days after the webinar. So Cheryl, I see your question there. You don't necessarily need to take notes if you'd like just to refer back to the recording after the fact. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. We talk about exact authorization. I know there's been quite a bit of interest in switching from pre-authorizations to exact authorization. And exact authorization at a high level is a new setting available for G10 and G11 devices, and it's a type of credit or debit authorization hold. But I'll let the expert tell us a little bit more about it. Keshav, are you able to walk us through first, I guess, what a pre-authorization is and kind of how that process works? And then we'll talk about the new process we're making available with exact authorization.
Thanks, Brian. Yep, super excited to show you guys this new product offering that we have, as Brian mentioned, on our flagship G10s or G11 products. So I'll walk you guys through the current process that most of your end consumers have when they purchase products at any of your vending machines across the US and Canada. And then we'll get into what's new to offer with the exact authorization. So as a consumer, when you walk up to a vending machine, maybe you want to pick up a Snickers bar in this example. Snickers bars, if it's priced at say $2.25, you're interested in making that purchase, and you go ahead and present your card, whether it's a debit card or a credit card. You can tap, swipe, chip insert based on the meter that's installed. You can present your card at the payment device, and you can then make a selection. So there's a temporary authorization that takes place. So when you present your card, our system checks that you have the valid balance on your card if it's a debit card. And if it's a credit card, it makes sure that you're in good standing and the card has not been flagged for any fraud. Once you get through that authorization process, you then make a selection. In this case, we're making the selection of the Snickers. So say that's A1, you make that selection, and once that sale goes through successfully, the product gets dispensed and you get your product. That's what you see as a consumer is that pretty much that's it. But when you get into your credit card or debit card statements, either on your phone or sometimes you look at it on your laptops, you will see a list of transactions. As you can see on the left of Brian's screen, there's a bunch of transactions. The topmost one is the transaction that we're talking about today, which is the one we made at a Cantaloupe serviced vending machine. So you'd usually see, in most cases, a $5 pending charge. So what this pending charge actually is a pre-authorization hold. And this is what, as Cantaloupe, as the merchant of record, we take as an authorization to protect our customers from any fraudulent transactions. So this is usually just a pending charge, which lasts for between 12 to 36 hours, based on how quickly the banks turn around and settle the actual cost. So then within the 12 to 36 hours, that pending charge of $5 will be removed and replaced with the exact charge of $2.25. So as you can see, it's great to protect the merchant, and it's also great to protect the operator because it assures us that we're going to receive the money that we're dispensing the product for. But from a consumer side, you can see the challenges because if I'm purchasing a product for $2.25, as a consumer, I'm pretty confused about why there's a $5 charge on my credit card. And this becomes especially an issue for debit card users and also campus card students, because they might have lower balances. And if you don't have those $5 on your account, you're not allowed to make a purchase. So there's a huge challenge with this current methodology of pre-authorization, where your purchasing powers reduce significantly. It's more applicable for debit cards, but also if you're running pretty close to your credit limits, it could be an issue on the credit card as well. And then for an operator, for all of you guys on the call, you must have received calls about this in the past, where a customer purchases something for $2, but they see a $5 charge on their credit card statement. I mean, if they pay attention to the minor details, it will still show up as pending and it won't be posted. So pending is when it's not complete, and posted is when the transaction is final. So as you can see on the screenshot, there are 3 transactions below that are all final and posted. So that's the exact charge that the customer is going to be paying for. So you will probably be getting a lot of calls with regards to this mismatch of what I paid, what I'm being charged versus what I actually bought at the vending machine. And then the final one is just overall a bad experience for many, because you're used to making a purchase and being charged exactly what you made a purchase for. But at times when you see this difference between on your credit card statement versus the product price, it just damages the experience altogether. So now with all of this, pre-authorization hold has been the conventional methodology of authorizations for standard vending and unattended retail. And now as we develop and move with customer trends and customer requirements, we have now developed this new system, which Brian will flip over, and we're calling that exact authorization. And exact authorization, as the word says, is we are authorizing the card for exactly the amount that the purchase is being made for. So what that means is that if we'll take the same example of the Snickers, I purchase a Snickers for $2.25. My credit card statement or my debit statement will show $2.25. As you can see, I mean, as a consumer, that just makes a lot more sense because the product and the charge are equal to one another. So this is what they do at most, I mean, all the other retail stores that you visit, you will see the same thing where you see the charge on your credit card statement and you match that with, in most cases, your receipt or your bill, and it's the exact amount. So this exact authorization is pretty easy to implement. It's available on all G10s and G11s and can just help operationalize or improve your operations from an operator perspective, but also improve the experience for the end consumers. So Brian, if you just want to go one more. Yeah. So overall benefits, I mean, I think it's pretty clear, but it just eliminates consumer confusion, as most of us are aware. Getting charged what you purchased is always the best form, the best payment experience. So exact authorization brings you that. Larger purchasing power. In this case, we'll take that same example where a debit card user might just have, say, $4 on their card left to spend. Now they can easily make that purchase of $2.25 without having to get the pre-authorization hold of $5. So that just improves or increases your purchasing power. And then, of course, from your perspective, from the operator's perspective, you just get a decreased call volume because now you're not going to get customers calling you with regards to this mismatch between product price versus my statement charge. And then overall, it improves the experience for all of us, right? As a consumer, you're happy with what you purchased and you're not confused with your credit card statement. And as an operator, you guys are just not going to be receiving as many calls. And it also will you will start seeing increases in revenue because now customers have a larger purchasing power. So I'll pause here and then I'll also get into the details of how we can set this up. And Brian has some wonderful material on the process and who to reach out to. We'll talk about first who can use it, right? As we said, this is today available for all G10 and G11 users or devices. All of you on the call have been approached because you guys have been using our ePort devices. So this feature is available to all of you. There is few changes that we need to make on the device side that will change the configuration to allow for this new mode of payments. So once you guys are interested and you put in the request to your sales or AM members, we will change a few configurations on the device and set you up for exact authorization. One of the changes that we need to perform for this whole process is we have to move the devices from the conventional multi-vend setting over onto the single vend. That way the exact authorization functions as expected. So we're able to dispense one product and that one product is exactly what shows up on your payment statements. So that's the change that we will do ourselves on the back end once we get your authorization. But otherwise for you all, all of this will be done remotely. Nobody needs to visit the machines. You put in the request with your team or with your sales rep and we will take care of the rest. Usually takes between 1 to 2 days, but it's a pretty seamless process and it's been thoroughly tested internally. And also we have some customers that are using it today.
Thanks, Keshav. Yeah, it's a significant improvement for a lot of operators. Well, yeah, thanks, Keshav. And really reduces that call volume. And again, this is something that is not a paid feature. This is just a setting change. So we'd encourage you if you're interested to make this change on your G10 or your G11 device, reach out to your sales rep. They can take it from there and help move that change along. Again, feel free if you have questions about this or you understand that authorization topic is a little challenging and confusing at points. So feel free, send through your questions and we'll be sure to answer them at the end of the call here. With that, let's keep it moving and Carolyn will start kind of changing gears here to some of the more I guess opportunities to enhance operations or to streamline and eliminate potential hassle down the line. Cash Flow Advantage is a program I know you and I have talked a good bit about that not many operators are aware of it. And yet the operators that are and who have used it have found it to be as they would describe a game changer. Um, Talk a bit about what cash flow advantage is at a high level, what are the benefits, and then we can really dive in to how it works.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, cash flow advantage is definitely a great service that Cantaloupe is now offering their customers. It's going to enable you to receive daily deposits, which is going to be huge. Cash flow advantage couldn't be named better name because you're going to be getting cash flow daily instead of every week. So obviously having more money in your pocket every day is going to be better than having it weekly. And just coming from the accounting point of view, I can tell you, yes, because you're going to have that cash flow. Any accountant would tell you you'd rather get paid daily than weekly. You can put that money into your bank account, you can invest it, you're going to be making money. So, and it's going to give you greater financial flexibility, obviously, because you'll have the money available to buy your products every day rather than once a week. The huge benefit that everybody, my customers love, is that it ups that two-tier pricing from the 10 cents to 20 cents. So I've had many customers ask me, can I up that two-tier pricing from 10 cents? And it was always no. We were able to negotiate this and get this taken care of for our customers. So you can go to 20 cents now. The last thing here is the increased revenue, which is actually something we weren't actually thinking of at the time. We were just trying to give you all greater flexibility and allowing you to deal with the inflation of products being higher priced and the amount of money you have to pay on processing fees to kind of offset that with the 20 cents. But we have found that there is absolutely an increased revenue for you, the vendor. So how does it work? I love Brian did all those wonderful things that come on. How does it work? So you would contact your sales rep and your sales rep would send you, they're going to send you a quote. First thing is we are going to increase your credit card processing rate from the standard 5.95% to 6.95%. I kind of jumped forward a little bit here. Sorry, Brian.
Oh, it's okay.
So Brian did this lovely generic. We kind of got an average vendor here, John Smith, and 100 machines. This is going to give you an idea. He has an average transactions of 190 a month, average ticket sales $2.26. So his monthly sales are $430. And then with the processing rate at 5.95%, which is the standard right now, you're going to be paying monthly credit card fees of $25.59 on those. This is just based on this generic John Smith. It's a pretty standard vendor operations there. And then your revenue that you're currently getting on the 10-cent two-tier would be $19. So this is going to put your return on investment at a negative $6.59. So you're losing a little bit of money, although the two-tier pricing does help you with that the credit card processing. You're still in the negative of $6.59. If you bring that across all 100 machines, that will be a negative $659 for the month. With cash flow advantage, we're going to be increasing the credit card processing rate to 6.95%. But don't panic just yet until you see the numbers come through. So the monthly credit card fees on that are going to be $29.89. As you can see, it's only about $4 difference. And then when you double the two-tier pricing, you're going to get $38 in revenue. This is going to give you a return on investment of $8.11. And across the 100 machines, it's going to give you $811 a month. So as you can see, it's not just $8.11. It's going to be $14.70 because you were in the negative $6.59. So you're actually making $14.70 per machine per month, with that being return on investment monthly of $1,470. So that's a pretty significant jump. Cantaloupe wasn't even anticipating that. Again, we were trying to help you all with the inflation and covering your credit card processing fees, as we'd heard from many vendors saying the credit card processing fees are so much, can I increase that two-tier pricing? So this is what we've done to help you guys. And I already have a number of customers who have done this, and I have a couple examples real quick. I have one smaller customer. He has about 70 vending machines. And let's see, his processing fees for the month of June were $1,054. And his two-tier pricing revenue was $1,495. So he made $400 in June on just increase, even though his processing rate was higher, he made $400. So that's just a smaller customer who's about 70 machines. I have a larger customer who has 1,600 machines, over 1,600 machines. And so if you're lucky enough to have that many machines, they made in the month of June, their processing fees were $22,780, but they made in two-tier pricing $29,588. So they made almost $7,000 in 1 month. Did we have for the full year or no? We probably didn't do this
Yeah,
calculation.
yep. And that's a great transition there,
There
Carolyn.
you go. So there you can see on just this smaller gentleman with about 100 machines making $17,000 more a year, over 17,000, nearly $18,000 in revenue. Again, this was kind of an added bonus. And my customers, these two in particular, have just every time I talk to them, they go, I don't understand why everybody doesn't do it. So Brian has kindly added this into the webinar to let everybody know that it's there. I think a lot of people probably just didn't know we have this available. It's new.
Yeah, and one thing I'll call out as well, if you look at the monthly credit card fees without cash flow advantage at that 5.95% processing, you're getting weekly payouts. But with the 6.95, you're getting those daily deposits, right? You're in addition to the revenue benefits, and in addition, this daily deposit and having that cash flexibility that Carolyn mentioned earlier is a huge benefit, right? So again, just something to call out there as well. But
yeah, I'd love to get paid every week. Do you think Cantaloupe, or every day, do you think Cantaloupe might go from bi-weekly to daily pay?
yeah, we can talk to HR about that, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah. So thanks, Carolyn. This is again a unique program that we've had operators experience a lot of benefit from. Let's keep it moving to another one that I'm not sure of how many operators know this exists, but Cantaloupe Care. Carolyn, are you able to kind of walk us through Cantaloupe Care? What are the benefits? Obviously, we see the eligible devices here. Can you talk us through that a little bit?
Absolutely, Brian. So yeah, Cantaloupe Care is something we developed. We have currently a 3-year warranty on all of our products. So 3-year warranty is pretty great considering I know our competitors have only a 1-year warranty. So you're getting a 3-year warranty right off the bat with Cantaloupe. But this Cantaloupe Care has extended that warranty. You've all heard of an extended warranty when you purchase a car. This is going to give you an extra 2 years, so 60-month coverage on our devices. So you're going to get 5 full years of warranty on the G11s, all these devices here, G11 Pulse Kits, every one of our devices, you'll get a 5-year warranty, which is obviously going to give you a peace of mind. It's going to cover the repairs or replacements of any defective hardware, obviously not vandalism. But pretty much anything that's defective, you'll be able to replace that. And it is all just for the low. How much does it cost? How much does it cost, you say? So it's $1 per device per month. So and then that's if you have 1 to 200 machines. If you have over 200, it does drop down to 50 cents just for the quantity. But $1 per device per month actually only adds up to $60 per device. And the average cost of a repair is going to be $75. So it's definitely worth it, giving you that 5-year protection for less money than it would cost for you to repair. A brand new device is $329. So $1 a month per device. I have a number of customers that like this. Obviously, it's peace of mind and a nice security for a 5-year warranty. And not very expensive.
Yeah, and thanks, Carolyn. Great description there. And one thing I'll add here, this is currently available for when you're purchasing a new device. It's not available for devices you currently have. Like it's not a package you can add on after the fact to existing inventory. But for new device purchases, you can definitely work with your sales rep on adding this to that purchase. Um, well, guys, thank you. We sped through that, and I see a good bit of questions here, so I'm excited to dive in. And again, to our customers, thank you for joining us, and feel free to continue to submit your questions. We're going to get to as many as we can. So let's start things off. And the first question we have is there a cost for switching to exact authorization? And I can go ahead and answer that. No, there is not a cost for switching to exact authorization. All you need to do, contact your sales rep. They will be able to help you field that request. Feel free to email them a list of the devices that you'd like to make that switch on. Again, exact authorization, making that switch is only available for G10 and G11 devices. Let's go ahead to, looks like Aslan's question. Will this work in my laundromat on the washers and dryers? And I'm assuming this is for exact authorization. Keshav, are you able to speak to that?
Yes. So depending on which interface you use on your washers and dryers, if they're using the standard MDB, so we have exact authorization supported there. If the machines use more of a pulse interface, you don't need to worry about authorizations on such machines. We already take care of that for you. So this new introduction for exact authorization is more applicable for standard vending machines, because all of our other setups, whether it comes to washers, dryers, amusements, gaming centers, all of those, we don't have an authorization. We just do a direct exact authorization already. So that's a good question.
And we have a question from Neil. He asks, and this looks like it's also tied to exact authorization. Won't they see, so in the example of the $2.25 Snicker bar, he asks, won't they see $2.35 a charge since there's I guess it's a $2.25 the product price is $2.25 plus a 10-cent transaction fee. Any dollar limit per purchase, he asks.
I can take that. That's another good question. So the example I think by transaction fee, I assume you're talking about the two-tier pricing, right? The difference between the cash price versus the credit price. So yes, if your machines have two-tier pricing enabled, which most of yours do, the authorization amount will account for that. So my example, you can assume that it was all inclusive 225. But if in your case you have a product priced on the machine at 225 with two-tier pricing of 10 cents, then on your consumer's credit card statement, when they make a purchase with the credit card, it will show up as 225 plus 10 cents. So you're right, it would be $2.35. My example did not account for two-tier pricing, but if you have two-tier pricing enabled, our exact authorization will account for it.
Yeah, good distinction there, Keshav, and great question, Neil. Okay, move on to the next one. So again, exact authorization question. Alonzo asks, what if the client or the consumer wants multiple items when using exact authorization, or I guess when purchasing product on a machine with exact authorization?
So that's a good point. And we studied a lot of data before we went ahead with this approach. We noticed that though multi-vend is an option for all of you, most of our consumers they make single vend transactions. So the number of multi-vend transactions itself, or where you're talking about multiple items, it's less than 15% of the total transaction volume across the US and Canada. So when you do decide to switch, if you do decide to switch to exact authorization, we would have to move your device to single vend. And in that case, if the consumer would like to make multiple purchases or multiple items within the purchase, they would just need to present their card a second time. So they won't be able to make multiple purchases within the same transaction attempt, because it will show up as 2 or 3 different transactions within their credit card statement.
Yep, that makes sense, Keshav, and that's a good question as well. Kind of understanding that switch that we'll make there. It looks like we have some other questions as far as the Cash Flow Advantage program goes. So Carolyn, I'm assuming you and I can kind of tag team these. First question from an anonymous attendee: how long does it take for daily deposits to start once you set up? Are you familiar with that time frame?
Yes, it's definitely not longer than a week. It's within a week. I actually, when I was looking up some numbers for this today, the one customer, I happened to go into when they requested it, and I believe they requested it on April 12th, and I saw daily deposits by April 17th. So that gives you an idea.
Okay, so yeah, not a long time.
Right.
You're able to get set up and accepting that pretty quickly. Another Cash Flow Advantage question. Question is, when do you take your monthly service fee? Carolyn, is there a consistent day? Or, okay.
Yeah, the 20th is when our monthly service fee is posted.
Okay.
The
great.
20th of every month. So
Okay.
well, generally, with the weekly deposits, it's the 20th it posts. So when you're getting paid on Fridays, whatever week that 20th falls in, like it could be the 21st, that payment. But if you're getting daily deposits, it'll come out on the 20th.
Okay. Great. We have a question here. I think it's a good clarification. So Cash Flow Advantage, we talk about the two-tier pricing. We talk about the 10-cent two-tier pricing. We talk about the 20-cent two-tier pricing once you increase your transaction your transaction fee percent to 6.95%. I have a question here about two-tier pricing in general. Are you guys able to kind of, maybe Carolyn, you're able to field this one? What is two-tier pricing? I think this is something that is a really good question there, MJ, that you ask.
Absolutely. A lot of our customers will be purchasing third-party devices. Maybe you bought your device on Facebook, or maybe a friend sold it to you, and maybe you haven't spoken to a salesperson like myself who would have informed you about two-tier pricing. So maybe you just transferred your device and you maybe just don't know about two-tier pricing. But it is a free feature that we have here at Cantaloupe. When it allows you to add 10 or 15 cents to a transaction to help cover your credit card processing fees. So for example, a $1.50 candy bar, if the person uses a credit card, it would charge them $1.60, and it gives you, the vendor, an extra 10 cents on that transaction. This is a free feature. You can actually turn that on yourself through Seed Live. If you go to our website, you'll be able to find a video that shows you exactly how to do it. Or if you go into Seed Live under the Help tab, there are videos in there, and one that tells you exactly how to add the two-tier pricing. Or you can call customer service and they can help you. But essentially, it's going to add 10 cents when somebody uses a credit card, and it gives you, the vendor, that extra 10 cents on that transaction. For many, many years, the customers have asked, can we have it be more than that 10 cents? And that's where this 20-cent feature has come along. So now we are allowing the 20 cents, but we do increase your credit card processing rate. This is all legal because of Visa, MasterCard. That's all rules that we have to follow. So, and that's what the two-tier pricing is. But it is extra revenue for the vendor. Not everybody uses it, Brian. Surprisingly, I feel like I myself, if I was a vendor, I would use it. I don't think I never have cash, so I would never leave a vending machine because it's charging me an extra 10 cents due to using a credit card. But not everybody uses it. I'd say a majority of my vendors do, though.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Carolyn. That's a good description there, and just really talking about a way to cover yourself, and able to cover those transaction fees and offset that. Another question here about the amount of machines. Is there like in order to take advantage of cash flow advantage, or to use cash flow advantage, do you need a certain number of machines?
No, you do not need a certain number of machines. However, you might not qualify for the daily deposit. Our deposits need to be a minimum of $25 a day. Now, 6 machines, you probably are making that. But yes, there's no minimum to up your credit card processing rate and use the 20 cent.
Okay. Um, and a kind of similar question, do all the if someone's going to take advantage of cash flow advantage, um, do all the machines that they have that are eligible, do they need to be, I guess, do you have to have all your devices on cash flow advantage, or can you have a mix?
That's a great question. I'm thinking that they would probably want you to do all of your machines. I think there might be exceptions that we would allow on that. But it would have to get approval from higher up. Just because it's easier to uniformly update the processing rate through all the machines. Um, there could be an exception, but I think we'd have to get managers' approval for that.
Okay, so yes, if you're wondering about maybe you want some on cash flow advantage, some not, that's likely a conversation you'll have with your sales rep directly, and they'll be able to advise you on what options are possible there. But probably it's an all-in approach, it sounds like, Carolyn.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, okay. A couple questions about where can we get stickers that show the new two-tier pricing, the 20 cent update from 10 cents to 20 cents?
You can reach out to your sales rep. They can get them sent to you. And they may be on our website as well. If you go to our online store and you search for two-tier pricing, I believe they are in the online store right now. And I believe they're free. You just have to pay shipping cost. But you could also reach out to your sales rep and they can send you them.
Okay. Um, Keshav, I know we haven't talked about exact authorization in a bit, but we do have one question here, one more question on exact auth. Um, Similar logic to the question about cash flow advantage and having it on some devices and not on others. Are we able to, the question is, can I have some of my devices on pre-authorization and others on exact authorization?
Yep, that's a good question. So yes, we could do it because these configurations are changed at a device level. So when you do reach out to your sales rep or account manager, you can let them know that you want this change to be applied to all of your devices. Or if it's a select few, just list those serial numbers in your email and we can apply the change to just those few. So this is completely customizable at a device level. So you can select half of them to be on the legacy pre-authorization and the other half to be on the new, or whatever suits your business.
Okay. Yep. Thanks, Keshav. Okay, we have a couple more here about cash flow advantage, Carolyn. So, Emma asked to clarify, if we don't change to 20 cent two-tier pricing, the processing fee will not increase, or it will increase regardless. So I guess the question there is more concerned about the increase in the two-tier pricing.
Yeah, no, if you don't choose to do cash flow advantage, your credit card processing rate is going to stay your standard rate of what you currently have. The only reason the rate would go up is if you decided to add the 20 cents.
Yeah, and just to clarify there as well, Emma, and others who might be wondering, cash flow advantage is entirely optional. It's not, it's an entirely optional thing for you to decide if it's best for your business or not. Otherwise, you will continue at the same rate you are presently. Okay, so a similar question from Rita, and I can go ahead and take this. Does the two-tier pricing have to be 10 or 20 cents? Can it be any amount in between? And Carolyn, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that it's either one or the other. It's either 10 or 20. Correct me if I'm wrong, though.
We did just add 15 cents. So 15 cents is available without a price increase. So you can do 15 cents, 10 or 15. Then to receive 20, you have to have the higher credit card processing rate.
Okay. That's great.
Carolyn's point, all of those stickers will be on our website. If I think all of them are already, but otherwise we have stickers for 10, 15, and 20 once you enroll for the program.
Yep. Okay, we have one additional question. Looks like one more question left here on cash flow advantage. We have, can we do cash flow advantage for the increasing of 20 cents, but not do the daily deposit? So can you increase that to 20%, or sorry, 20 cents and just not, I guess, continue to receive weekly deposits?
Yeah, I'm sure that would not be a problem at all. Again, that would be something, just talk to your sales rep and they would get that. They just have to do a couple things to make sure that you continue on the weekly instead of getting daily.
Okay. And the second part of this question, which I think is probably the thing that the heart of the question is, I want to see if I can increase to 20 cents without increasing the fee. And that is not, unfortunately, not a possibility. Really the 20-cent increase, or sorry, the increase from 10 cents to 20 cents is meant to offset the increased processing rate. So you can't maintain a 5.95% processing rate and go to 20. You can do 10 or 15, but you would need to, in order to go to 20, you would need to increase that processing rate.
Again, though, I would say to you to run one of your payment reconciliations, and there's a column for what you're being charged on your processing rate, and there's a column for what you receive for your two-tier pricing at 10 cents. Look at the bottom. I encourage you to take those numbers and then do the math on your revenue times 6.95 and then see what your two-tier pricing would be doubled. And I guarantee you you would be in the plus.
Okay, one more question just rolled in from MJ. He asks, on the Advantage program, cash flow Advantage program, will it state that there will be an increase for the customer to see? I have dealerships and they offer, or they have other machines that list the increase and the customers use mine instead. I believe this goes into that sticker question, Carolyn. So
yes, yeah, you would put the sticker on the machine, and they would see it when they scan when they buy their item and they scan their credit card. It'll come up with the pricing, and it'll be 20 cents more.
yeah. Okay, it looks like that is all of the questions I see here. I do see a couple other questions that are you know, things that we can follow up with you directly on in terms of getting into contact with your representative. So look for an email from myself if your question hasn't been answered live on the air. But again, thank you all for joining. We hope that this was a time where you feel like you got information that can help propel your business forward. Keshav, Carolyn, thank you both so much for joining and for your expertise and walking us through these things. Again, the recording of this webinar will be sent out tomorrow. So feel free to go ahead and review that once we send it out. And yeah, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day, and I hope you'll join us for our next webinar here at Cantaloupe.